What is up, guys? Today is a new quick video about Feiyutech AK2000S. It's an upgraded model from AK2000, which I've had for a couple of months and I've got to use it. And I would like to compare them as well as my Crane 2. Now this gimbal I had it for a while and this is my 2-go gimbal. But recently I got into Feiyutech gimbals. So first of all, the box it comes with is pretty cool. It's smaller than AK2000 in size, and what I liked about the old gimbal is that you can take them apart. The AK2000. So this gimbal, you can't really take it apart, but they made it smaller. So the handle is thicker on the new gimbal, and I guess that way they were able to make it smaller, as you could see. So the AK2000 I'm holding here on the right hand, this is the AK2000S. AK2000, you could break it apart. I have a full review about this gimbal and you can click about here and you can check it out. But this one is a little bit shorter, so you can easily throw it in the backpack. It's not going to take a lot of space. Where, for example, compared to Crane 2, it's way smaller in size. It really feels like an old AK2000, but they just polished it and made it nicer. So many little cool things that I would love to talk about. For example, the locks. I love this. All the gimbals should have this. So the little locks here, on each axis you can click and each axis will lock in. Finally, every gimbal is doing this, and this is great because it's not going to wobble in your backpack, if you know what I mean. This joystick here is super nice. You can click on it, and by clicking on it you can control different axes. So for example, if you click it once, you can turn left or right, the lower axis, click on it again, and you can tilt up or down and then go sideways and whatever. The screen also shows you all the different modes. Probably my favorite part about this gimbal is the wooden handle. It's really cool design. I really like that compared to, for example, like Feiyutech AK2000, which was just like a rubber handle, and Crane 2 didn't really have anything, and they came up with this rubberish tape that you roll around, and that kind of gives you some good grip. I got an advanced version which gives you this motor that you can pull focus. Now this is super cool. I've been wanting to try something like this for like ever. This motor you can attach to the side of the lens of the camera. You can control it with this joystick on the gimbal. These two go together, and when you pull the joystick, it spins your focus, which is pretty cool. Well, to be honest, Canon is the camera that I always use and the autofocus on it is great. It's not at 100%, it's about at 90%, but there are times when I was like, oh man, I wish I could pull manual focus when I was using the gimbal. I would use that, but probably not as much as I would think, because most of the time for what I do, small ads and most of the time YouTube or Instagram videos, I don't really need to pull manual focus. But like for a bigger job, there probably would be times, especially in low light, where you have to do manual focus because autofocus just doesn't work as good. Also, there are little things like this. I really like it. So you can attach this here, right? And you can drop the gimbal down like this to get lower angle. This is really cool. I love this handle, and what they did is really nice. They kind of pay attention to details. I love that. So you can, and I figured this out myself. I'm not sure is that how it's supposed to go, but I kind of think that's what it is. So if you open this up, right, there is it's kind of like a tube where you can put things. So I put screws in there, right? And these screws I will use to attach this handle to the gimbal. And what's cool also is there's this little opening on the handle itself, right? Where there's a magnet and this tool just snaps in. This is so cool, come on. Like seriously, look. It just sits there. So you will never forget it. Bam, back in there. Super cool. So you'll take the cool tool out, you get your little screws from the back, and you will just attach it to the gimbal, just like that. By the way, the gimbal is very light and it handles 2.2 kilograms, where the older AK2000 is holding 2.8 kilograms. But for most of the mirrorless, it's still good. The only problem with this gimbal that I have is I'm using Canon EOS R, and for Canon EOS R, since the back of it has the viewfinder sticks out a lot, and most of my lenses are pretty heavy, you can't really stabilize an EOS R on this gimbal unless you're using a smaller lens, and that kind of sucks because that limits you. For most of the Sony cameras, I'm sure, or like Olympus or any other small mirrorless camera, this is perfect gimbal. But if you put the EOS R in here, it sits here, right? And then this back part, when you drop the gimbal down, the gimbal is going to touch the back of the camera and it just physically won't go in. So I reached out to Feiyutech and they sent me a list of supported cameras you could use with this gimbal. I will pop the screen here with all the cameras. So as you can see, you kind of limit it with Canon lenses, and basically you can't really use any L lens on Canon EOS R. So like you can't do 16-35, 24-70, you can't do even like prime lenses. I tried it on a 50 1.4 and actually let me show you some footage. This is me filming with a 50 1.4, so every little movement is pretty responsive because it's a tight focus distance. I feel like nowadays all the gimbals, they stabilize really good. A tip that I would give you guys is if your gimbal shakes a bit, when you add it, just stabilize at 2% at worst stabilizer. It helps so much. It literally fixes every small jitter that any gimbal would give you. My conclusion is this is more like, you know, when the iPhones would come out with an iPhone 6 and then they would make an iPhone 6S. This is kind of the case. This is iPhone 6, AK2000, 6S is AK2000S. That's exactly what it is. They added the locks, they added the focus motor option, which is only like $50 more actually. It's not that expensive. Everything else is pretty much the same. The box is smaller because the gimbal itself is smaller and it just doesn't break apart, and it gives you this little handle, which I really love. And there's a nice little bag with a lot of cables. You can literally control any freaking camera to this gimbal, and you can control all the settings. So if I were you and I would be using a smaller mirrorless camera like Sony, Olympus, or anything else smaller than EOS R, I would totally go for this gimbal. It feels really expensive. And it's cheap. It's only $350. It's $350 for a regular version, and the one with a focus motor is $50 more. So that's nothing. But think about it twice before you buy the one with the focus motor, because I don't think a lot of us would actually use it a lot. I'm gonna link this gimbal down in the description. If you buy it from the link, this will give me a small commission from Amazon. You don't have to pay anything extra. This just helps out my channel, and hopefully you got something out of this video and it helped you to pick your next gimbal. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Peace. Oh, wait. One more thing. So for those who've been watching my channel for a while, you guys know that I like to make travel videos, and I haven't been posting for quite a bit now, probably for like 2 months. It's because I'm working on this project that's been taking me for like ever. Literally, I've been working on the video for 3 months now. It's gonna be a big one. I hope you guys gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna give you a little quick teaser. All right, just quick teaser just to get you interested, and yeah, just watch it. Peace. Today, I just took my last video.